This is what happens to Abraham. So he has a series of adventures after he decides that he's going to go out in the world. And every adventure is marked by the erection of a sacrificial altar and a recommitment of his upward aim. Now there's two reasons for that. One is that he reminds himself that he's aiming upward and he's on an adventure. And the second is he admits to himself that with every transformation of character, something has to be sacrificed. So, you know, now I'm curious about this in your own life, right? So you started obsessively committing to martial arts. What did you have to give up to do that?
Social life.
Okay. What else?
That's basically it. I was a kid.
Okay, social life.
I didn't really have responsibilities other than school, so I would leave from school and go right to training.
Okay, so there's an emergent idea in that story of adventure-led transformation that with every profound transformation of character, something that's not appropriate has to be let go of. That's why, by the way, that's why Abraham's story culminates in the sacrifice of his son. Because the sacrifices get higher in value as the developmental progression upward continues. And that's basically the story of individual development, right? Follow the call of adventure, aim upward, continually remind yourself of your fundamental goal, and then let go of everything that isn't appropriate as you transform forward. So Abraham ends up with a new name because of doing that. That's how different he becomes in the course of his adventure. It's like Jacob. Jacob becomes Israel, and Abram becomes Abraham, because the consequence of him following the pathway of adventure, the calling, is a transformation that's so complete it's as if he's a different person. And now those stories are maps of that transformative process. So they culminate in the Christian view of things with the ultimate sacrificial offering. So that's the idea that lurks in the New Testament, is that the ultimate in transformation is brought about by your willingness to put absolutely everything on the line, no matter what. Right. And that's a very different view of the religious enterprise than something like defense against death anxiety. Right. It's the ultimate adventure, and that's the willingness to welcome everything about life that's terrible and painful and malevolent, to welcome that with open arms, to accept that. And that's predicated on a deeper idea even, which is that sacrifice is the basis of community, which is exactly right. Because you have to give up something to be in relationship to the future and to other people.
Right.
Right. So the biblical corpus is an examination of, what would you say, levels of sacrifice moving downward to the ultimate possible level of sacrifice. So in the Abrahamic story, Abraham is requested by God to offer up his son. Right. Now he gets him back. The threat isn't carried through. And what does that mean? It means, first of all, that everything in your life, no matter what it is, including your relationships, should be made subservient to the highest possible aim. It also means that a good father sacrifices his children to what's highest. That's the offering of your child to the world, the faithful offering of your child to the world. That's what Mary does. It's a famous statue of Mary in St. Peter's in Rome. Michelangelo made it when he was like 23, some ridiculous early age. Brilliant statue. Mary is holding the body of her son, broken, in her arms, looking serene. He's an adult, off the cross. It's like the female crucifixion. And the idea is that the good mother, the proper father, offers their children to be broken by the world in the pursuit of what's highest.
There it is.
Yeah.
He was 23 when he made that? That is insane. Oh, God.
What were you doing when you were 23?
Telling shitty jokes.
Single block of marble. Yeah, and so see that's an indication of sacred femininity, because see, the psychoanalyst said in the early part of the 20th century that the good mother necessarily fails. And so what does that mean? Well, every woman who brings a child into the world knows that the child is going to be broken by death and malevolence. Right? And so motherhood in its highest aspect is the offering of the child to the world to be broken. That's what's portrayed in the Abrahamic story too, with regards to Abraham. To get your child back, you offer them to the world. That's a profound indication of faith, right? That life is worthwhile despite its suffering and its evil.
And it's so good. Like the work. Like look at his foot. Just look at the detail on the way the toe bends, the heel. It's insane how good it is. He was so good. The fact that he figured out how to be that good at 23 years of age is just so shocking.
Well, also so inspiring,
So inspiring.